Nanami Fonseca. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Very good morning to you.
Good morning.
So from what we showed, the visuals actually of the movie that's in the theaters right now, Siri Parakum, really interesting one. It talks about a very famous king in Sri Lanka, going back the years, and it's a really interesting segment of the whole life of what King Parakumba is all about. And with regards to the movie and with regards to what Senani is, it's her first movie, isn't it?
Yes, it is my first time that I'm getting into the film industry. I have done 10 years back. I have done few like programs and stuff like that. But it's the first time that I'm doing a movie. So it's great. It's a great feeling. I'm getting all the comments and everything. So I'm really happy at the moment.
Right. Starting off, well, forget about the movie and all that. We'll talk about you in general. So how did you start off? And you mentioned that about 10 years ago you were in the teledramas and all that and doing a few programs.
Yeah.
How was that? And we mentioned that you have pedigree when it comes to the particular industry that we are talking about, not to mention big names when it comes to her family. None other than probably the biggest when it comes to Sri Lanka's actresses, Nonimi Fonseca is her aunt. So from that, how was it like moving in 10 years ago, coming into the industry, and how was it like?
Well, the thing is that when I first, when I was a kid, I didn't really had that dream or anything like that to come into the industry or to be an actress or anything. But when I see my aunts and they're like my cousins and everybody, when they're in the big screen, obviously when I was a kid, I feel like, oh gosh, I can be in, there, in the big screen and stuff. So that kind of made me like it. And obviously because I've been growing up in a family, as you said, that in like an entertainment world, I know the big, like the faces and everyone. So it feels normal for me. But like all the entertainment world and stuff interested me. So that's why I really wanted to be in here. But I never thought that I will be. And especially because I went to England 10 years back. That's why I wasn't doing anything in Sri Lanka. So yeah, so I never thought that I will be in here. I just had that I just wanted to be in the industry, but not as a dream. So yeah, we can say that a kind of a dream kind of thing come true, yeah.
Okay, and you did mention that after 10 years, it's the first time, and you're probably meeting a lot of new people there, some people from well-known families, and the youngsters and all those. So how was it like working with them, and how was the experience like?
The experience is great. As I said, always like in Somratna Disanaika sir and Renuka Basuri ma'am, working with them is, first thing I need to mention is working with them is great. The set is like the other members we kind of like a family. So the other members of the set is like we, so much close and everything. And working with Akilaya and other SUNNET-CTS, and there are many names there, and it's great. I'm like over the moon at the moment. With the film release was on the 30th. And the comments that we are getting and all the good news and everything, I'm like over the moon, so happy. So just, can't explain it in words.
So Sanala, you mentioned that you went to England 10 years ago. And was it due to studies or because of your parents?
It's because of my parents. Basically, my dad had to do his MBA in England, so he went there and we got the chance to go with them. And my whole family is there now, settled. And I started my studies. I did my A-levels and O-levels there. And now I'm looking forward to go to uni in Cambridge. So so that's my whole life is settled there. But obviously I like my motherland. I love Sri Lanka. So I always, coming and going and stuff. But now I'm like coming here for a longer time than I expected.
All right, and Nonimi Fonseca is your aunt, and she's one of, she's like, when it comes to the film industry and actresses, she holds one of the big places in Sri Lanka. So with, a person like that in the family, how was it like when you actually came in, and how was, the motivation? How was it, altogether when it comes forth, how was it like?
I think she's a big a lesson for all of us. Not only for other people in the industry, but for us as family members. like since I was a kid, I saw her as my Lokunanti, not as Nonimi Fonseca, you know. So and then she's like a mother to all of us in the family. She's like a mother. So the lots of like teaching and, you know, just watching her and learn, and there's so much to learn from her, and that kind of a motivation to us, you know, unspoken motivation. And then obviously when we get into the field, not just me, other members of our family, when we get into the film, we get we get all the teaching and, you know, tell us how to do this and that. It's not, she just say it, you know, and you just know what she means, and you just get along with it. Like, I remember first time when she got to know that I was in the film, the thing that she told me was talk less and do more, as in like listen to the director and, you know, don't argue or anything like that, just do what you had to do, understand the situation, understand the scene, your character, and, you know, do it as that.
So coming from that background, Sena, now when it comes to probably entering the industry, it's much easier when you have a big name in the industry, but then you have to live up to that expectation. How difficult was it to actually cope up? Now you are coming into your first movie here in Sri Lanka. The industry has grown in leaps and bounds from what they experienced as basically actresses and actresses maybe 2 decades ago. The industry has developed, and coming from the name famed as Nonimi Fonseca and that background, being her niece, walking into the industry, how much of an impact did that create, and how much pressure that did it create for you to actually perform?
Basically, first of all, I need to say that I'm not here because of, you know, her name. I haven't used her name to be here. None of us did. We were here, we were chosen because we, you know, live up to that expectation of directors, and we do some justice to that character. I'm not here because I'm a niece of Nonimi Fonseca. I'm here because I've been chosen for this film because I'm good for that character. So living up to that expectation is like nobody, well, none of us, I can't be like Nonimi Fonseca. She's, you know, somewhere up, you know, right at the top. So I can't be there, but I try to do some justice to my character, and this is my first film and I'm still learning. So I should say that I'm still learning. It's not like 100% I'm correct, and I don't think an actress can ever be 100% correct. You know, you always see your mistakes and everything, and you need to, you know, make it good and improve and things like that. So yeah, living up to an expectation is kind of like, it's like fighting with yourself. So like that, I'm like, when I see it now, when I see my character and how it has come up, I think at that moment, being a newcomer and everything, I have done some justice to it. I can see my own faults, so I want to correct it and everything. So maybe in a different something else, in like a film or something, I'll try to correct myself and, you know, do some justice to that role. And afterwards, you know, it continues. It's like a cycle. So you improve yourself by teaching yourself what's wrong, by seeing yourself.
Yeah, true enough. After all, you know, being unique and being you yourself in a character is how you can actually make, you know, a mark on yourself. It's just not, you know, following somebody else. Yeah. You might have big people and stuff, but basically following what you can do and making a point that, you know, a character from yourself is something that.
So 80% of the program is shot in USA, and the other 20% is done in Sri Lanka. So yeah, like you say, it's a documentary. It's a travel documentary. So we get to show our viewers about the USA and how it is, and a story that goes around with it. So my character is called Parami. I'm not going to say a lot about it because you know, just need to keep the suspension and things like that. So yeah, my character is Parami, and there are a few major roles of the film. Of the documentary. So I'm doing one of the major roles there. So yeah.
Interesting one, this, and I think we do have the clip ready where the introduction to the particular documentary is released. We'll have a look at that and talk about it as well.
All right, so this was it last Sunday?
This was last Sunday. The Muhurat was held, and like you can see, there are many big names in the film itself. And luckily for me, for the first time, I get to work with Nandi as well.
Okay.
So yeah, Malini Fonseca is also part of it. So it's great. Like, it's a great feeling. I can't wait to start shooting. I get to be with her on the set itself. So. And
we do see the chairman, Ms. Mohan Samaranayaka, the director of the documentary is Mr. Daratna Ratagedara, as we mentioned. Executive producer is Shirley Asanta Dialvis. So many big names when it comes to the whole production itself, and when it comes to the script of it, and as you mentioned, you get Ravindra Ranjania, Malini Fonseca as two of the seniors in the industry.
And the documentary is called Nonimi Charika, directed by Mr. Daratna Ratagedara.
All right, Sinai, now looking at that, and once you run through the names that have been listed for the particular series, it looks like it's going to be enormous hit, because you have all the big names that you want to have in the industry. And looking forward to this, as you mentioned, 80% of this will be shot in US, and it's to be basically the first season will cover 5 states in US, and then they'll go on to the rest of it afterwards. And looking at the whole screen, because reading through the initial introduction, it talks of a lot to do with the Traveler series that were released in US. So it's more or less a deviation from that, and taking a lot from US and giving it to the Sri Lankan audiences. Yeah. How does it feel like?
I feel really lucky. First of all, as a newcomer, I would say I'm a newcomer still, and to be in a production with so many names and so many, like a good director. We all know that Mr. Daratna Ratagedara is a great director, and the teledramas or the documentaries that he have already done are like really great. So with Nonimi Charika, I'm looking forward to it really, and to be working with all those great artists, and like Channa Pereira, Ravindra Ranjania, and Malini Fonseca, and many more. So yeah, the feeling is great, and I'm enthusiastic to work with and it's the first time that I'm doing a TV program like after 10 years. So it's the first time I'll be seen in a teledrama. So yeah, I'm kind of doing. I did silver screen. I will be doing silver screen as well as the small screen, so I can get to my viewers more closer, and they'll get to see more work from me.
Yep. And with that, we do have some clips ready for you, and this is on the artists who actually to be featured in the documentary, and some very big people, big to the film industry of Sri Lanka. So these are the ones. These people are the ones who actually came for the Muhurat. So let's take a look at it. And then here, this is Malini Fonseca, Mr. Channa Pereira, and our Channel I director, Mrs. Nanda Hettiarachri. Right, so there will be the people who will participate in this documentary and featured, in the future, the shootings and the stuff that will be done. So how, working with the total, I think it was a total different group when it comes to Cherica, and in comparison to this documentary, so many senior artists, and you don't find the youngsters like the little kids and stuff that you had in Cherica. So how is it like, I mean, I know you haven't started yet, but the feeling like when you accepted the thing, you would have probably gone through the script or something, or how was it like when it came to the selection and when you came to accepting the invitation?
When I was selected to the film, Mr. Nonimi saw me in Cherica, and he thought that I can do some justice to the Parami character. So that's how he selected me, and he asked me, and we went through the whole process, and then I looked at it and I checked the script and talked through with my character and everything like that, and and I thought, and especially because of the big names, it's like a golden opportunity. And like you said, Cherica is a film and this is a documentary, total two different things. And I think I'm really lucky actually, and like this is a documentary. It's not, even though it's in the small screen, it's not like a teledrama based thing. It's a different kind of, not like Mega or anything like that. So it's a total different new concept, total different things. So it's great that I got to be in something that changing, in the industry. So that is such a good feeling. I'm excited to start shooting soon. So it will be, like I said, 20% here in Sri Lanka and 80% will be shot in USA. So looking forward to that. And especially, like I always say, that the big names, even though I know them, when I was a kid, I grew up looking at them, seeing them and talking to them personally. But to see them, how they act and how they actually do their role, how they do the justice to their role, looking forward to it,
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yes.
So, and when it comes to, you're working with a very senior director, Mr. Dayaratna, and you said that your aunt, Malini Fonseca, is also, you kind of get to work with her as well. So, and probably the director is somebody new to you, and maybe you haven't worked under him. So, did you get kind of some advice or something? He's a person like this, or you should kind of do like this, or was it like just as Cherica, was it like free to move something, or how was the the support from the family and the advices also?
The thing is that I know him, as in I have met him and things even before he called me to the program. I have met him, and I have seen his work. So I have seen how he does his programs and things. So kind of watching them and then learning, and so I can't really say how it is like, because we still haven't started shooting and things. So we all know, and I have heard great things about him. We have heard that he's a great director. So like my first movie is done with Somratna Sanayaka sir. So he's well known for the cinema. He's like the up there. Yeah. So worked with him in the big screen, and now working with a great name, a great person who is still who is also up there in the small screen. So it's great working with all the great people who know what they're doing and who know how the industry is and what to give for people who's watching.
All right, with that, it's time that we mention the names of the production crew of the particular documentary that we are going to talk about. It covers Dayaratna together, Shirley Asanta Alves, Piyum Warnapurge, Burdi Mahinda Jayatilaka, Shirley Asanta Alves, as we mentioned, Kapil Kumar Kalinga, Kitsiri Mevan Jayasena, Lasanta Alves, Deepal Gunaratna, Atula Sultana Goda, Donald Karunaratna, Pushpa Kumar Rajaguru, Imal Shanaka, Malcolm Mantara, Kapila Sudasingha, Ajit Bentarage, Sunanda Veerasinha, G.M. Patiraja, Dilip Niranjan, Gamini Balasurya, Krish Fonseca and Ruani Horanage. So that's the production crew, and you have really big names when it comes to the screenplay, where you get Malini Fonseca and Ravindra Randeni as the two mains, and you get Senali also in the list. So not bad, something to look forward to. And I think once this is released here, and as she very clearly mentions, it's a lot to do with a totally different attribute when it comes to the small scene here in Sri Lanka, because a documentary of this nature has not been released in Sri Lanka ever before. So it's going to be a new experience to all of the viewers out there.
All right, and with that, we did speak a lot about it, and so much coming in future by Senali, and plus the documentary. So much to look forward to. But time's kind of, we've kind of run out of time, but yet though we have some stuff that we could have spoken of. But anyways, thank you so much, Senali, for being here, for being part of the show, and for coming here and introducing yourselves to us and having a nice time with us as well. So with that,
just need to say thank you very much to Rupawahini for having me here, and thank you both of you for being so nice.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, so with that, it's time for us to say goodbye on the Tuesday's edition of Rise and Shine. While wishing Shenali all the best for our future endeavor, it's time for me and Shiani to say goodbye on Rise and Shine.
with a song. Bye.